What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and I've got an update for you for a new provision that will be stimulus checks for people, and yes, this is people with or without children, known as the adult tax credit, you guys. This is your stimulus check update and your stimulus package update. Now, as you know, right now, Congress is working away on the next stimulus package. It's going to be the largest that we have seen so far. It's going to be $3.5 trillion designated for provisions for people. Second portion of the infrastructure package known as human infrastructure. Well, right now, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi has let members of Congress know, bring all of your proposals, bring all of your bills, and we'll see what we're going to be including. Well, there's a new one that's got a lot of attention. This actually, came out a couple weeks ago, but just recently was modified to be even more appealing to Congress to potentially get included. Take a look here. This came out about a month or so ago. Stimulus checks and child tax credit payments help prompt calls to expand another credit benefiting workers, you guys. Now, we're going to take a look at this article that's going to give us the details. This came out a while ago, but it was recently modified. I'm going to be sharing with you the actual proposal text so you can see it for yourself. And this one is from Gwen Moore, the Workers' Relief and Credit Reform Act. But essentially, they're calling this the adult tax credit, where adults, regardless of whether you have children or not, will be receiving monthly checks to the tune of a total of $4,000 to $8,000, you guys. So I'm going to dive into the details, let you know about this new proposal. We'll see if it makes it into the stimulus package, but I'm going to get you caught up on all the details so you know what is currently being proposed to be included in the next stimulus package. So we're going to dive right in, but before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, if you like and appreciate these updates, keeping you up to date on everything that's going on right now in Congress with stimulus, the economy, unemployment, be sure to take a second to smash that like button. I would appreciate it. Just takes a second and really helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you think this is going to help out other people, be sure to share this out on social media platforms. Now, in addition to that, if this is your first time here, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, come join the Ram fam. And like I said, I'll keep you up to date on all this stuff so you know what's going on. And if you got any specific questions that you want me to answer, be sure to shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. That is by far the best way to get a hold of me if you got any specific questions that you want me to answer. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to get you caught up on this new proposed bill that could be included in the next stimulus package that would put money into the pockets of parents and adults alike for the $4,000 to $8,000 stimulus checks. All right, you guys, so let's dive right in. And as I mentioned, this actually came out about a month or so ago. However, just recently, it was updated, and you're going to be seeing how she's made this a little bit more enticing for Congress to include in the next stimulus package. So we're going to be taking a look at an article, though, that came out about a month ago when this first came out, and then we're going to look at the proposal now and how you'll be able to see how it's been modified to be more enticing. Now, the article says, the link in the description below, that millions of Americans are feeling a financial boost from the federal stimulus checks and monthly child tax credit payments. And it says, those direct checks were made possible by tax credits that were created or expanded through legislation aimed at helping the U.S. economy bounce back from the pandemic. Now, you guys, I just want to take a second to clarify something. I know a lot of people get hung up on the terms used or the specific words: stimulus checks, earned income tax credit, child tax credit. And I just wanted to clarify that a tax credit, whether it's advanced or not, comes at tax time. Essentially, it's money coming from the government to your pocket that is not being considered earned income. In other words, you don't owe taxes on it. So if you get a child tax credit every single month, or if you get it at tax time, regardless, you get that money amount and it's not going to be impacting your taxes. Same goes for the stimulus checks. The only difference between all of these different tax credits or advances is just the eligibility requirements. So for the child tax credit, you have to have a child to get it. For these adult tax credits or earned income tax credits, you don't have to have children. Same thing goes for the stimulus checks, you guys. So these are all essentially the same thing, just the only difference is the eligibility requirements. So essentially, they're now calling this an adult tax credit. This could be considered the next stimulus check, a different form of it, you guys. But let's continue reading. It says, and as Americans get used to additional financial help, there are calls to make the enhanced tax credits permanent permanent. Now, that includes the child tax credit and the temporary expansion of the earned income tax credit as well, which is the one we're going to be discussing right now. All right, you guys, now listen to this. The article says that the EITC was made more generous for the tax year 2021 in several ways. It says, now more workers without children, they can qualify as well, and for the first time it is also available to younger workers and has no age limits. Now it says taxpayers will generally not see the effects of the expanded EITC until they file their taxes next spring. However, we're going to be seeing how that's going to be changing here in just a second in this new proposal. It says, however, there are already calls to extend the EITC expansion beyond this year, and notably, that includes President Joe Biden's American Families Plan, you guys, which is that $3.5 trillion stimulus package that they're working on right now. So they want to include this in this upcoming package. Now, it also includes a bill reintroduced by Representative Gwen Moore. And yes, this is the proposal we're going to be taking a look at here in just a second. That was reintroduced, revised to be more enticing. Now, it says she reintroduced this last week, and it's called the Workers' Relief and Credit Reform Act, which aims to both expand and modernize the EITC. And yes, they're now calling this the adult tax credit. And it says Moore's proposal is a broader rethink of how the EITC can be used to provide economic security to Americans. And it says, while it also includes Biden's expansions, it would take those changes further. It would phase in more quickly, which would enable lower income tax people to get more money, and at the same time, couples with up to $90,000 in combined income would also stand to get a larger credit, you guys. So they're making this available to families as well, even those without children. Now, notably, it would also enable low-income students and family caregivers to access the credit for the first time. Now, under Representative Moore's proposal, the maximum credit would also be more generous, up to $4,000 for individuals and $8,000 per married couple. Now, Biden's proposal changes have taken inspiration from this and other proposals aimed at reforming the EITC, including one of Vice President Kamala Harris's as well. So you guys, let's go ahead now and take a look at this proposal revised, and we're going to be seeing what all is entailed in this new revised adult tax credit. All right, you guys, so link in the description below to this proposal that came out from Gwen Moore that is called the Workers' Relief and Credit Reform Act, aka the Adult Tax Credit. And it says strengthening the Earned Income Tax Credit. It says the WRCR Act would increase the Earned Income Tax Credit, and the maximum credit for single filers would rise up to $4,000, and married filers would receive a maximum of $8,000. Now, the WRCR Act also features a 100% phase-in that would increase the income levels at which the credit starts to phase out. Now, under the bill, the credit would begin to phase out the amounts for single taxpayers at $30,000. So they have dropped the income eligibility significantly, which makes it more likely that lower income earners will benefit from this, and it could potentially get included because it's going to be reducing the overall price of this provision. And it says the level for married taxpayers would be $50,000. Once past those income levels, the credit gradually decreases to zero at a fixed rate of 20%. So those are the income eligibility requirements and the phase outs. Now listen to this. Jumping down, it says that you can also receive money for dependents. It says a qualifying dependent generally includes a child under the age of 12, the taxpayer's relative or spouse who is mentally or physically incapable of caring for him or herself, or a relative over the age of 65. Now listen to this. If you're on SSI or SSDI or any of those benefits, you can also qualify as a dependent. It says, for qualifying dependents, the taxpayer must provide over 1/2 of the dependent's support, and it says the computation of the minimum support test excludes payments received by the dependent from federal programs. So it does not exclude those that collect those programs. It excludes the computation for whether or not they receive those federal benefits. So in other words, if somebody over 75% of their income comes from SSI, SSDI, and you only provide 25% for that dependent, well, all of those benefits they receive are excluded. In other words, that 25%, if that is not federal benefits and you provide 100% of it, you provide 100% and you can claim them as a dependent. Now, jumping down, listen to this. Deeming minimum income for a certain eligible individual. It says caregivers and low-income students, they would be treated as though they had enough income to qualify for the maximum credit. So they're expanding the eligibility for this broadly. It says expanding the eligibility age range as well. The WRCR Act permanently decreases the eligibility age for workers without children from 25 down to 18. So before, if you were 21, you might have got excluded. Now you're going to be included, and it removes the eligibility upper age limit of 65 years. So they're expanding this so pretty much everybody can collect. And listen to this, reinstating and improving advanced payments, you guys. So this is not just for when you file your taxes. It says the WRCR Act includes an option for recipients to receive 75% of their estimated credit monthly, you guys. So this essentially would be monthly reoccurring checks. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So you guys, that is the latest on the adult tax credit, this new proposal from Representative Gwen Moore, and it is getting a lot of attention. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to let you guys know if this makes it in or not. We're seeing a lot of proposals coming out left and right, as Nancy Pelosi has said, all members of Congress, bring your bills, bring your proposals, and we're going to see what gets included in this $3.5 trillion stimulus package. But you guys, I'll keep you up to date. Thank you so much for joining me here on the channel. And as always, if you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget to take a second to smash that like button. I would appreciate it. It helps out the channel a ton. Lets YouTube know you think I'm doing a good job, and in turn, they might share this out with other people as well. Also, leave your comments down below. And if this is your first time here, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. I'll keep you up to date on all this stuff, and you can come join the Ram fam. I'll keep you up to date. And if you got any specific questions that you want me to answer, be sure to shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. That is by far the best way to get a hold of me if you got any specific questions that you want answered. But with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. I'll be sure to catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.